next group that is going to be up here with us. First time we've ever had these two, well, I shouldn't say that. They were together yesterday in a panel, but to come together to talk about a show that they are on TV together, we're very excited to have these two. If you ever get a chance to just talk one-on-one with both of them, extremely intelligent gentlemen, and so I'm really interested to see what they bring together here on the stage. We'll bring them out one at a time. First, you saw him yesterday on stage moderating. Now today he is here for Paranormal Caught on Camera. He's also part of Ripley's Believe It or Not, Ripley's Road Trip. Please welcome Aaron Sagers. And may I say, Aaron, always one of the, you and John Tenney always compete for the best press. So I like it, yes.
I don't know, this guy's giving me a run for my money right now.
Well, let's find him. He is the owner of the History of the Paranormal mobile exhibit. He is the brand new ambassador of the Haunted History Trail of New York State, and also from the TV show Haunted Collector and Paranormal Caught on Camera. Please welcome Brian J. Kano.
Good, looking sharp.
Looking good, because I figured, you know, this man is always well dressed with tiki, and black goes with everything.
It's true. I feel like it's great traveling like this, but it gets even more fun when I travel with a Ouija board dressed like this. The looks I get on the plane are just amazing.
A tie as a planchette and just moves around your shirt to decide where you're going?
Well, now I will.
I better trade that, mark that quick.
Michigan, so glad to see you guys. How's the weekend been treating you? Yeah? I'm happy to be back at these events. It's been way too long, right? Like,
It has been. I mean, COVID shut us down, but I saw a lot of good online events. I know we had a couple of Zoom panels with the rest of our Peacock cohorts.
yeah.
I mean, everyone's been doing a good job staying at home, but now that we're together, this is a lot better. This is the way it's meant to be.
Yeah, you guys like really feed us, and we appreciate your support. And you know, I know not every panel has been doing Q&A. We want to hear from you guys. And if I may speak for Brian, no holds barred. Ask whatever you want about the show, about the production,
About the show.
about how we analyze things. I mean, you can ask me whatever. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer it. You can ask me whatever. But we get a lot of questions about this show and how we go through these videos, and we're now filming the 5th season. Tail end of the 5th season.
Yeah, it's a good season.
Yeah.
And isn't season 4's second half just premiering?
Yeah, we still have some more episodes of season 4.
13 full new episodes of season 4, so even though it'll be advertised as new Paranormal Caught on Camera, it's for us old because we're filming the new hotness.
Yeah. It's, well, let me ask Brian. Well, we started out in studios, and then due to COVID, we started filming remotely.
Ooh, yeah. You know, this is one of those things where I loved filming in the studio. Now, those of you who watch the show will notice the marked difference, where it used to be the old documentary style, looking just off camera, talking to somebody. And now, it's bright lights, in your face, ring lights. The girls look good. I look at myself, I'm like, ooh, too bright, too close. But now, when we used to go into the studio, there was a makeup person, a hair person, camera guy, sound guy, producers. Now we are all of the above.
Yeah, we are doing triple, quadruple duty, and unlike Brian, I don't have lustrous hair, so my hair alone hence the hat.
Neither do I anymore.
It's still lustrous, okay? I think it's even more lustrous now. But this isn't the Brian Kano hair panel.
That's tonight at 8 o'clock.
How do you feel that the shift from in-studio to remote shooting has impacted your analysis?
I mean, switching allows me to kind of prepare a little more, because when we used to go into the studio, the guy would interview us and he's like, well, what do you think about this? We'll talk about that. Oh, that's interesting. And we got to vibe off of the producer. Now, for me personally, because I'm filming in my living room, there's a guitar stand bouncing on my couch, which has a laptop kind of teetering on the top. We've got an iPhone 11 plugged into a ring light. It's jury rigged to the max, and it's via Skype. So that's in person, vibing off each other isn't quite the same. How does it feel for you?
Well, you're set up where you actually see the producers, right? You see their face.
Yes, because I have my laptop, they want to check the shot.
Right.
So that guitar stand bouncing act, the laptop camera is looking at the phone as if they were behind it. So a lot of times it's crooked, it's off, and I say, hey guys, how's it look? They'll take a picture of it, send it to the producer, say, all right, it looks okay. Can you move a little closer? I'm like, I'm this close to the camera already. How much closer am I gonna get?
I like it. I like certain elements of it because I can pause more and just breathe and think about certain, pieces of evidence or whatever. But what I don't like is we both live in New York City, and I swear. So we're recording. When you're in a studio, it's sound controlled and everything. But when you're on the Zoom in New York City, it's like hold for plane, hold for car, hold for car, hold for plane, hold for plane, hold for. I think someone's getting in a fight outside. Hold for dog. I think someone's fighting a dog outside. Baby, baby, baby. Plane, car, more fighting, and it just drives me insane.
At least you've got the sounds of the city. You could have Glenn Fry singing about your experience filming. For me, it's my neighbor. It's upstairs. She has no kids. She's got a little yappy dog. Yip, 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 yip. Yeah. And then, as things quiet down, ice cream! Yeah. Ice cream man coming down the street, and invariably, whatever day, it could be Wednesday, it could be Thursday, it could be whatever, it could be 2 in the morning. That's when the landscapers show up and start mowing the lawn and trimming the hedges, and I'll open the door, and I feel like I have authority. I'm like, hey, I'm filming in here! They don't care.
There's TV happening here, man. The
Your
magic.
favorite show, I hope.
Yeah, but I think it's safe to say we're never going back to a studio. It's because they figure out a way to do it this way. All right, so I see a hand raise. I don't know if we have a floating mic, but if you want to call it out, I'll repeat the question so everybody hears what the question was. We do have a mic. Yeah, thanks.
Incoming.
Yeah. Keep your hand up for a moment, please. Sorry, not to interrupt you. There you go.
How long do you have the videos with you, and how many times do you view them before you actually make your decisions?
So for anybody that didn't hear that, how long do we have the videos, sit with the videos, and how many times do we view them before we analyze them?
I think it depends on the video. Well, we are all given the package, the stories that says, okay, story number 1, story number 2, here, watch this. And it's nicely divided into ghosts and spirits, cryptids, UFOs, and mysterious. And we watch it, and then again, okay, no offense to our black-shirted friends, but usually the first couple of videos are the traditional ghost hunting inspired, like, this happens, like, hey fam, we're here at the location, we're about to go in and do the half-hour challenge. And we kind of know what we're gonna get, but some of them, especially the ones that come from overseas, we have to watch over and over.
And, how much prep time do you do overall, would you say? How much time do you block out for prep?
I watch the videos, and then it goes into the research. So if something that I don't necessarily know, especially if it's something overseas, there's a pronunciation, there's a local legend, we'll both dig into it. And I've got little notes that I scroll down. When we did it in the studio, I don't know how I kept it all in my head. I think on the drive through the Holland Tunnel, I'm like, don't forget to say this, don't forget to say that, don't forget to say this. But now I've got little cheat sheets of things that I want to bring up.
I feel like I'm a little bit more, I have more ability to call up my notes, but it's not scripted. I just have like my little bullets of, this is a duende, this is a lobisoma, which is, I love saying that word, lobisoma.
So Aaron, if
it's
you
a
were
werewolf
there
in Brazil. Yeah.
in this situation, what would you do?
What would you do? Are you scared? Would you say, have you ever seen anything like this before?
What advice do you have for the homeowner?
Yeah. good one. These are the questions that some of the producers, because our producers, and I love our producers, but they're not necessarily all paranormal people. They're TV people. Some have come along on the journey and have learned a lot, but they're asking questions, and we're like, man, that's not really how it works, in my opinion.
They
We
also
go a different direction.
They also graduate up. So the ones
Yeah.
that we started with would ask certain questions. They'd ask questions over and over, and there would come a time where they would be like, all right, Brian, let me ask you about this poltergeist activity. Would this kind of a place, and I know what you're going to say, would this kind of a place be appropriate for a haunting? And they would learn and they would modify their questions based on who they're talking to.
Right.
Now it's just, they'll graduate to different producer roles. We'll get new producers. We have to kind of train all over again.
So, in his process, my process is just a little bit different. We watch other videos and then you do research. The way my brain works is I watch a video and I watch it again, and then I dig into the research. And nobody tells us what to say. We all have different kind of approaches and styles. Brian is a researcher and investigator. I am a journalist and a researcher, and we will approach things in different ways. But I sit with it, I research, and then I might walk away for a while and then come back to it. But at the end of the day, nobody is telling us what to say. So when you hear me say something really stupid, it's all me.
And
100% me, yeah.
Lately, and especially since this gentleman has come on the show, there's been an unofficial competition to slip in pop culture references. It used to be kind of just me dropping
Yeah.
Star Wars and Godzilla things, and then he comes on, I'm like, ooh, I got up my game.
It has been, yeah, because we don't all film on the same day. That's the other thing. It's according to our schedules, which actually is a nice benefit of doing remotes now, is that we can spread things out a little bit more. So sometimes he may film first, sometimes it might be me first, and I do sometimes say to the producers, I'll say something, I'm like, can't I say that? Like, no, you didn't say that? I'm like, good, don't tell him, or don't tell him I said it, don't, or have you filmed Kano yet? Oh, he's gonna get this one.
Well, they're mysterious about the pop culture references because they're like, well, we think somebody alluded. I'm like, it was Aaron. I know it was Aaron.
Yeah. And there's the winking, little references, all the Star Wars ones I try to fit in there, and I try to be kind of sly, it's more of a matter, try not, really, you do or do not, and I try to get in there. But then sometimes I will do all right, can I do a zinger now, guys? Okay, I can. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. And I'll even be like, I don't know that you guys are going to use that, but it just makes me feel good that I got to say it,
See, that's the one thing I love about our show is that they allow us the latitude to be ourselves.
Yeah.
When I was on Haunted Collector, as some of you already know, I tried diligently to get movie quotes in, but one in particular from Seven. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? And sometimes I would say it in the same inflection. I'm like, let me channel Brad Pitt. What's in the box, man? And they can say, no, you can't say it, you can't say it. And then I started trying to be clever, and I'm like, all right, well, we go for our OTFs, on the flies, those little interviews in between segments. And one of them in particular, there was a chest that was giving off readings. So they said, all right, Brian, tell us what happened. So Batman voice comes out. All right, well, we were doing some investigating, and Beth and I were in the room, and this is giving some weird things we didn't know why, and all I want to know is what's in the box. A couple of weeks passed. Then the executive producer comes up to me one day when we're filming, he goes, Brian, we know what you're trying to do. I said, oh, come on, I legitimately want to know what is in the box. And it fits, Seven doesn't hold those words, but Paranormal Product Camera lets us riff.
A couple of years ago, I did a show called Paranormal Paparazzi that I produced and hosted with Zach, and I produced it, and then I hosted it. And it was a newsroom-style show where we would look at footage from around the internet, and we would also, it was a combination of lifestyle and entertainment. Go talk to a guy that believes a zombie apocalypse is coming and is living in a bunker, cut to an interview with Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. And you would think that would lend itself to a lot of pop culture references, but the same thing. And I don't know, maybe it was a legal thing. Maybe it was like they were legally shy, but whenever I would try to wiggle something in, same thing. They'd be like, no, 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 we can't do it, we can't do it. I really think maybe legally they're just like, I don't know, let it fly now.
And I guess it depends if they catch it or not, because when I did that stint on Doomsday caught on camera,
Yeah.
I was quoting Ghostbusters left and right, dogs and cats living
Yeah.
together, mass hysteria! And it made the cut. And a lot of times I notice, if I don't say it, sometimes you'll say it, I'm like, all right, it made it. I wonder when they're gonna catch on.
Weirdly, that's how, one of the most famous clips is the Dobby clip. And everybody knows the Dobby video. And I think, I normally, when we do a presentation, like a slide, I'm like, Paranormal Caught on Camera, also known as the Dobby Show.
Let's go to the videotape?
Yeah.
We don't actually have
I
it.
do love Dobby, though.
Well, that's another thing too, and I'm sure you do it too, and we've had conversations about this, that almost like a video game that has accomplishments, like, you get a little badge, or bling, mention Ghostbusters, bling, mention Star Wars. If we get certain quotes and certain things into the show, I feel like, yeah, we did it. And for that Dobby episode, of course we're talking about it, and I come on camera saying, oh well, the reason that this resonates with so many people is because it looks like a beloved character. And now Dobby is real. Dobby is free! And it made the cut.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I'm sitting in my living room in my pajamas or whatever I was wearing, and I literally got up and said, yes! No one could see it, but I did it very loud.
Do you try to, do you do puns?
I think our producers, our writers have some of the best puns for the cases. I love that.
Oh no, here's a pun I have to make. The show, okay, so the executive producer on the show is also the guy that does the voiceover, like on the next Paranormal Caught on Camera. Okay,
Paul
love
Paul.
it, I love him to death, Paul's great. However, sometimes if I find myself monologuing during a segment, they won't use my voice, but they will take my not scripted, but my monologue or whatever for the voiceover.
Yes, I'm glad you're saying that because I thought it was only me, and I'm watching the episode. I'm like, wait,
Those are my words!
That was Brian. Did he just say what was it? Oh God damn it!
But I do try to work in a lot of puns. There was the clip recently, I think it aired, I don't know, there's a clip where there's like a monster or a snake monster or whatever coming out of a toilet in, I forget where it was. Yeah, and I was like, what could it be? Okay, maybe it's some sort of cryptid. How long was it living down there? It looks like a snake, but not, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, all right, here's all the good stuff, okay. I don't know if it's paranormal, but it's definitely supernatural. I'm like, if you guys don't use this, I'm giving you comedy gold right now. I don't think they used it.
I definitely have to edit myself because again, a lot of the commentators on our show have good things to say. So like anytime it comes from Asia or Europe, I'm like, this is for Sapphire, right? Sapphire's got this one. Oh, it's cryptid? Oh yeah, Derek's got this one.
got it, yeah.
Pop culture? All right. We're gonna see who gets to base first. But in trying to drop these little things, I tend to be a little more loquacious and garrulous, and I just talk and talk and talk and talk. Like, it's going to be harder for them to cut. So sometimes at the end of the session, I'll give them the little clips, the little zingers that they never use.
Yeah, I think I got in technical terms, it's creepy AF. I got that one through, and I appreciate it. That was a good one. I'll take that. Does anyone have any other questions? We're just out there. Throw your hands up if you do. I don't know.
Yeah, what are some clips? And here's a question I'm sure we've both gotten all weekend. A lot of people will come up to us and say, "Do you really buy the clips that you're looking at? Do you really believe in half the stuff you're doing?" And I say, well, no, because they're not our clips. We didn't capture the segments. We weren't there. So just as people, as investigators, as researchers, as just human beings, we're looking at it, and the show is not meant to be evidence, don't question it. It's Paranormal Caught on Camera. It starts a conversation, and we want you guys to be skeptical. We want you to say, I don't know about that. But maybe our words, our commentary will open that discussion, maybe give you a little information you didn't have before, and then you could come to a better conclusion. But again, none of us were there, but at least we're talking about it.
Yeah, and also, you know, from my journalistic background, I've done crime reporting as well as entertainment reporting and everything. And when someone tells you about an experience that they've had, you don't say like, but did you ask the person questions, you try to gauge a sense of their emotion, you try to learn about them. The one gripe I have about being on Paranormal Caught on Camera is that we don't do the eyewitness interviews, and we may not even know there's going to be an interview until it airs. So when I look at the clip, I'm just trying to put myself in the head of the person that's filming, in the head of the person that's experiencing it. I try to see how they're reacting, think about it. And since I didn't record it, it's not always easy for me to pick it apart and debunk it. And plus, honestly, anymore, technology has advanced so much that anything can theoretically be faked, right? So that's not where my mind goes. It's like, okay, if this is legit, if this person is actually in the room experiencing this, what might it be? What might be going through their head? What would it be like for me? You know, and I try to make it relatable in that fashion.
And we do our level best to, and again, a lot of people have asked, do you vet the videos? And I said, well, we can't necessarily vet them, but we can do our best if we know something is definitely a fake or definitely fraud. I know you pointed them out before. I've come on the interview and I said, guys, please, let's not show this. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like, right, the doggy video, I asked them not to show it because months earlier it had come out on social media, and my first thought was, ooh, this would be good for the show. On Twitter, William Shatner came out and totally destroyed it. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, Captain Kirk doesn't like it, I'm not going to touch it. Beat me up, Scotty. But that being said, when it finally did come on, it's one of our most popular clips, we had fun with it. And even if it's something that we could dismiss easily, the conversation still needs to be had. Like, for instance, what were your thoughts about the Slender Man video?
Wait, which one? When was that one?
A couple weeks ago?
Or?
No, this was probably when you first came on. There was a video where a guy is out in the woods, he sees Slender Man, he's like, oh, and he runs away. And we know Slender Man, in and of itself, was created on an internet's contest. So technically,
go on, sorry.
Technically, there is no Slender Man, but at the same time, people are recording it, people are seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is where, because sometimes they want to tell a certain story, and I'm like, can we make it weird and can I go in another direction? And they're like, yeah, you know, a producer might have it in mind that it's a ghost story. And I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't strike me as a ghost, it strikes me as something else. And I'm like, yeah, let's get weird. And with something like Slender Man, when people are like, yeah, okay, the rake, really? You're going back to the rake or Slender Man or whatever? My thought is like, first off, none of us know how the paranormal works. We're all operating off of theory, and it's not a science. We're trying to figure it out. We should be asking questions. We should be open-minded. And I think skepticism is a great thing. However, cynicism is not. And I also think dogmatic, absolute, unwavering belief in not being able to ask questions or not being able to be skeptical, that's not healthy either. I really kind of move back and forth in the middle of what could it be, what might it not be. With that said, Slender Man, who knows? Maybe it is out there, because if you have a collection of people, if you have not a group of Buddhist monks trying to create a thought form,
Say the word you know you want to.
Tulpa.
Yes.
But if you have millions of people across internet connections focusing on this thing, why is it not possible for us to manifest it, bring it into being? It's, to me, I don't know, it seems like it is possible. Or, the other weird thing, what if something sees us thinking about these things and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna
Like a
pop
Freddy
in.
Krueger is gonna
Yeah,
happen
and
to
it's
you.
like popping into your brain of like, oh, a lot of people are thinking about this Slender Man guy. I'm gonna show up dressed as him, you know? I'm gonna present myself in that way.
Actually, it's not Slender Man, it's Slenderman. He's my lawyer.
Yeah.
He's my accountant.
But yeah, sorry, that was a tangent.
And she had, over in the wings, she had a...
Over
Yeah, no,
this side? Okay. Hi, by the way.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's
Sam? Hey, Sam.
Like Sam and Dean.
What is one of the scariest clips that you've ever seen?
Ooh.
That you think?
Want to take this one, Aaron?
I have to think about it. You know, the stuff that really freaks me out, and I love, the weirder it gets, the more in I am. But there was the one recently, I think it was in Russia or Eastern Europe. It's like, I'm from Florida, and I always know when it's from Florida or Russia, it's gonna be really weird and probably fun. You
Florida
know?
man.
Yeah. Florida man is a thing, I am he. But there was this clip, I think, out of Russia of like some sort of creature in a barn on top of an enclosure or whatever in the barn.
The one that like it was on the floor and then it popped up on yes.
Yeah, and then it pops up and it's like it looks like a Gollum-esque type of thing. And that one, I'm like, that's really freaky and I love it. Like, you know, the scarier the better for me. So that was one. Well, you need to catch up, okay? Are you, Sam, not to make it weird, but do you subscribe to Discovery Plus? Okay, good. Well, that's good. So we have like a lot of episodes out there, so.
Yes, streaming daily. You can get it on your mobile device. Somebody in the back is watching it right now.
We've got one person binge watching it. Okay. What's your response to that, to Sam's question?
Oh, well, I mean, just thinking about Russian videos, I know I was scared with this back in season 1 and season 2. A lot of the questions were asked about UFOs and, you know, what do you think Russia is hiding? I'm like, oh man, if I say anything, is Putin gonna, you know, off me? It's gonna be like that Aladdin. We were like, Aladdin. But it got me to learn a little bit of Russian. So what was it in Russian is что это было. So you just learned a little Russian thing. But my scariest clip, or one that I rewound and watched the most. Who here remembers Oswald?
Oh,
Besides Aaron.
Yeah.
All right, there was this one clip. Was it Philippines or Malaysia where there was this figure? You see it walking on the street. It turns, morphs through a gate, and then kind of does this thing, and all of a sudden shorts appear, and it becomes a human form.
It was Philippines.
Yeah.
I was actually just looking at that clip
Like
earlier.
Ludo.
That's a legitimately great one. I love that clip.
Over and over and over, and it was one of those things like, even though we could offer up some explanations, I scratched my head and I said, this is a good one.
And when we're filming, first off, we don't have to comment on something. I have opted out on certain clips. I've also given them the heads up. I'm like, they pulled clips because of sometimes the reputation of the person that filmed it, because we happen to know some of the backstory of some folks.
This clip sucks.
Occasionally, there was one where, like, I knew that it was created by a phone app. It was a UFO one.
Yes.
They pulled that, and they even told me. I'm not gonna say. They told me, they're like, we don't. It looks bad if we put a clip out there and we find out later that it was a phone app or something. So they want to know these things. They're not actively putting things out there where they know that it was intentionally, you know, fraudulent or anything like that.
And even despite that, I call it Troll Mondays, because for some reason, I don't know, I guess the haters watch it on Sunday and then come on Twitter on Monday, and they usually come after me. I notice they leave you alone most of the time.
No.
Like, I know what this clip is, you're an idiot.
I was.
Hashtag kill yourself.
I mean, I made my career working in newspapers, and I used to get hate mail where people would write it down and post it to me. So I'm like, you call this a hate mail on Twitter? Nah. I had people that would spend money to express how much they hated me. Those were the days.
They would walk through the snow uphill both ways to get to the post office.
When someone hates you enough to actually write a letter with their pen, yeah, that's so. If you want to express how much you hate me,
See, that's the thing, like, it used to get to me, but now I retweet it and I let you guys handle it. Sicko!
I did get one recently. Instagram or even Twitter, it's weird, like how old tweets or old posts go away, and then randomly someone will comment on it or retweet it or whatever years after the fact. It was the end of season 3. I posted a picture of us filming, which we do, and so that was more than a year ago now, or about a year ago.
The one in the bar.
Hmm?
The one in the bar when we went to the bar afterwards.
No, it wasn't that photo. It was just me looking into the camera, that kind of picture. And so that was like a year ago. Just the other day, someone posted on this Instagram thing, that's more than a year ago, moron. And that was all it was. And I'm like, I'm not bothered by someone saying, I hate you, you suck, this show sucks, it's fake, or whatever. Like, those things don't bother me. But just the simplicity of moron. And I think they used a period, too. And I appreciate punctuation. However, I'm like, at least give me context as to why you think I'm a moron.
Maybe
There's so many reasons why you might think I'm a moron.
maybe he was trying to contact Mark Moran of Weird New Jersey.
Yeah, right, yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I know I've learned a lot just from being on the show. And again, I'm bristled when the commercial says, watch the current videos with our expert panel. I'm like, well, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. The only time that I tend to come back at any kind of online shenanigans is when I'm misquoted or taken blatantly out of context, and I feel like, all right, that I need to correct.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, I want to tear something apart. There's a whole bunch of videos we're watching that you can have a field day with, so go to it.
Not all the videos make it. Occasionally something just drops off, disappears, or shows up in another
Shows
episode.
up seasons later.
Or sometimes on another show.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a question over here. Hi. Hi.
Hi, my name's Sherry.
What's your name?
Sherry.
Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Awesome. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right? You doing all right?
Oh, Sherry.
Anyway, you guys.
See if I answer her question.
I just want to say, that was like the verbal expression of moron, period.
You guys get clips from all over the world.
Yeah.
What do you do for your research? I mean, I know you guys research, but do you have a research team, or what do you do?
Team. Well, we do our best. We were tapped because of, I guess, hopefully maybe the way we operate, our reputations, and like, okay, journalism and researcher, and we try to pass on as much of what we find as possible. And it doesn't obviously always make the episodes, because there's plenty of times where I'm like, oh, this is good. I've got this, they're gonna love this is gonna be different. And they cut to one of the marks going, wow, that was amazing. And I feel like the research we do, and we've had conversations about this, and this is my gripe, that all that extra work that we put in researching that could have made the piece more thoughtful kind of goes to TV, let's go for the ooh moment.
So
Yeah.
they're looking for the wow moment,
The-
and you guys are too, but you try to get it out more.
Let's not forget, TV shows are entertainment, so be entertained by it. None of them are documentaries. The pair speaking in the other room, not a documentary. The brothers in the other, none of it. It's all entertainment, so be entertained. It's all supposed to be fun, but if you can learn something, if we could sneak a little learning under the radar, like we try to give you those nuggets.
And that's something that I really am proud of with this show, is that I have been fortunate to operate in the paranormal field for a long time, and I've had an embarrassment of riches as a result, and met excellent people. And all of the people in those rooms out there, I respect, I consider friends, but all what we do is entertainment. But something that I'm really proud of with this show is that I would argue we are perhaps the only show that has cast such a global net. And, it's not just Aaron Sager's straight white male from America of a Christian upbringing. We're talking about things from all over the globe. And where else are you going to hear about Aswan, Domovoy, Duende, Lobosomem, these things,
Love is so many.
folklore, you know. So, but as far as the research goes, part of it is just being a nerd and having grown up with this and loving it so much, so it's locked in my brain. I can't remember the birthdays of most of my siblings, but I can pontificate about elementals and Icelandic hidden people, hidden folk, things like that. Some of it is locked in the brain. Also, just as a journalist, I know how to go find information, and I find that fascinating. I mean, I will, when I see a clip, I go to Google News, and then I go down a news hole to see has this been talked about in local countries, in the local areas. If this clip was aired, what are they saying about it? I will go through Google Translate to try, if it's another language, to get to some sort of source. Because if they're saying, oh no, that wasn't a ghost, or that wasn't an Aswang, that was just a dude that was really skinny that was sliding through the gates. Like, you know, I want to know what they're saying about it, you know, because I don't want to dismiss what the local people are saying, you know.
And to their credit, the producers, if they have something readily available, they're like, oh, here's a news clip that aired about this, or here's what an Aswang is, here's a Wikipedia or something local. They'll give it to us, and we'll pour through it. And sometimes, all right, in a story, you'll see one clip, but that clip is comprised of 5 videos we had to watch with time codes that are like, pay attention to this and this and this and this. Oh, and watch this for the background, and oh, by the way, this is where they came from. And the research begins in us just watching the videos, but we do like to take it the extra mile.
We do have production assistants that, or not really production assistants, I guess they're like associate producers that they scour the internet looking for clips. They will scour news looking for clips. There was one that already aired of the triplets, the 3 little toddlers that saw something in the corner. It's like, what was that? What was that? Get away. Like, they pulled that from, they found like a news article and pulled it and licensed that clip to put on the show. So they are constantly scouring, but also we receive clips from y'all, and that is what I love. I've talked to many of you this week, and I'm like, send it in. Like, and if the producers don't respond, send it to me directly, and I will get it to the producers. Can't promise it's gonna get on air, but I'm constantly throwing stuff their way, and I'm like, hey, look at this, I think this is a good one. So that's where we get the material, but as far as the research, it's actually just us when we comment on it. Did that answer your question, Sherry? Thank you for asking it.
And that's good. And like I said, because the show is meant to start a conversation, question every clip. Even if something we say, we're like, this is what we believe, you know, feel free to add that little bit more information, because there's plenty, and especially when it comes to the UFO clips. And it baffles me that I was sitting on a UFO panel yesterday, because I'm like, well, what am I doing here? These guys, I'm the novice, so it was good because it forced me to broaden my horizons. But sometimes on Troll Monday, sometimes people will come through with good information, like, oh, you commented on this thing, it's off the Florida coast, it's this, and it's credible, and you can check it. I'm like, oh, well, this is good. Now I learned something. So the next time we see it in a video package, I can go, oh yeah, by the way, that's SpaceX, or this is a launch off the Florida coast, so that we can explain it.
I've had the fortune of like living in a lot of different places and having some okay adventures along the way, and so a lot of times they'll show us something. I'll be like, yeah, I live there, I know about this thing, or you'll be like, yeah, you know, like investigated that. Sometimes Brian would actually go up to the location and grab some footage, which I did. I'll talk to you later about that, but I did one for an upcoming episode. But at one point, one of the producers were like, really, Aaron, like, are you just trying to give us a good segment here? I'm like, no, an alligator actually tried to board a airboat that I was on or crocodile in Australia. And I'm like, here's the clip. And they're like, can we use this? I think that's for the WTF thing that they're gonna be doing, yeah. But, so yeah, it's
Actually, that episode should be WTF, but it's OMG.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The last 2 episodes of season 4 that haven't aired yet, we had one of them in an earlier season. They're not paranormal, but they're OMG moments. Like, oh my God, how'd you survive this? And people loved it so much that we're doing more. There's 2 more episodes, but some of them are legit WTF.
Yeah. There's some
WTF.
There's some like those are amazing because it's people escaping like these moments of death, like these close calls. It is somewhat paranormal sometimes because you look at these clips and you're like, I don't know, unless there was some sort of divine intervention, I don't know how this kind of thing could have happened and this person survived, falling out of a plane and then just bouncing off the ground and walking away kind of thing.
Like the one clip where the two planes collided into each other.
Holy moly.
9 people who were going to jump out of the
Holy
plane now
moly.
had definite reason. They didn't jump, they were ejected from the plane. All 9 skydivers plus the 2 pilots made it to the ground safely.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Any other questions out there? Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi. Right side.
I know what she's going to ask. Here it comes.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Outside of entertainment value, what would you like the watchers of this program to take away from it in sort of a higher sense?
I think I'm going to go back again to saying that because it opens up a conversation, we want the viewers to not only question what they see, but be open to the answers and be open to be challenged to modify what they believe. We want to avoid confirmation bias. And as we were talking about before, there's things that we hold true and we have beliefs. Beliefs are hard to change. Ideas are easier. I'm stealing from Kevin Smith right now, so those of you who recognize it, this dogma. Snooch to the nooch. We want people to be critical thinkers, but as I always say, scientists, a true scientist is a dreamer. They try to get to what hasn't been proven, to what is out there that they are unaware of and try to get to it. And again, we're all having these amazing devices in our pocket that we didn't have 100 years ago. If we had our smartphones back then, we would be burned at the stake for witchcraft. But that being said, a scientist also knows when to go, ooh, I was wrong about that. I have more information now. I believe this, and that can change. So what we think today is a demon, is a jinn, is an angel, we might be wrong about it. It might be extraterrestrial, it might be multi-dimensional. That's where the overlap with yesterday's panel comes in.
Yeah. I mean, Nicole, were you in the panel yesterday, the UFO panel, extraterrestrial panel? For those of you that were not, I'm going to just kind of repeat something. I've done a lot of TV, and not just paranormal, other entertainment stuff. And one thing I'll say is TV, sometimes producers and networks have a very strict idea about what they want and what a thing is. This is a ghost show, that is a Bigfoot show, that is a UFO show. Instead of like, it's a whole big weird bundle of goodness. I love that about our show, that we cover so much. I think because this show does well, because we have been filming 5 seasons, I came in on the 2nd season, filming 5 seasons, 26 episodes a season, as opposed to most other shows that get like 8, 10, 12 maybe episodes. There's a lot of us out there, and it does well. The show does well, thankfully. If there's one thing that I hope is a lasting impact of this show, is that networks and producers say, this works, and this worked because of diversity, because we're exploring the entire world, we're talking about so many things, let's try to do more of that. If it expands, not just the network, but also, the audience being hungry for this kind of thing, it means that we can continue to cast a net on the entire wide world of weirdness, and that really excites me, because if someone walks away knowing what an aswang is, that is just pretty freaking cool, right? Like, it's not just a gray lady ghost or a shadow person. There's so many things to talk about out there. So I hope that is a lasting impact of this. I hope that's what people take away from this.
I also feel like, and to put a period on that, the networks sort of they do what they want, but they cater to you guys.
Yeah.
So if you keep watching something, they'll keep making it the same over and over and over again, and just tweak it so the gimmick is a little different. You know what I'm talking about. So if the audience demands more accountability, more research, more of the stuff that we're kind of giving in small amounts, and they're like, well, you don't want to watch this anymore. We're interested in knowing more, like legitimately. It won't just be for PBS anymore. It might be a broader net. And I would love to see our show evolve a little bit more too.
Al.
not just having sensational talking points, and as much as I love our pop culture bits, I would sacrifice a Star Wars reference for here's a little bit of the history, here's a little bit of something that can make us all better and make us all advance.
They do fit in, like, they'll fit in the historic perspective sometimes. I think since there's typically 7 clips in an episode, what I would like, and I think this is the thing, honestly, news media, I think this is something that news media could do. We have 24-hour news cycles, and yet we keep repeating the same talking heads over and over again, saying the same thing, right? I would almost say, let's sacrifice a couple of those clips, and if it's 4 clips, going, super deep with these things, spend more time with it instead of like, okay, commercial break, that's what I would like, so going deeper, but that's what I would like in the news media as well, for us to really hone in deeper on topics. Was there a question over here? Howdy. How you doing?
Cool. Mark, good.
Hey, Mark.
That's a question about you were talking about growing and learning and everything. Is there anything on the show that you look back on now and change your mind on at all?
That's actually a good question. Good question, Mark.
Well done, Mark.
You've stumped the panel.
Mark, you wanna come on the TV show? You want a job? Yeah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
I think, there's nothing I regret. That being said, sometimes I watch my fellow castmates. I'm like, oh man, that was a great comment. I wish I said that.
Oh, Lynn gets me all the time.
Lynn is amazing. When she first came on, I said, uh-oh. She's doing the Brian deep thoughts, and she's so verbose and educated. I'm like, oh man, I don't have the PhD after my name. I'm concerned for my job.
I will say, I personally, I hope I have not done this. I know I've said some things that I probably would like, I would say that differently right now. But the thing that I try to lean away from is anything pejorative about witches or the use of the word witch. It really bothers me because I look at that as witches are people that traditionally have had belief systems outside of the norm, outside the mainstream, and they have been persecuted and killed for it. So I don't like tossing around the word witch as like this is witchcraft. I don't like automatically saying if we see a pentagram that it's like a sign of Satanism or demons or whatever. Demons, I don't like throwing around the word demons. Sometimes I will say this strikes me as a little bit dark, maybe I haven't said demons, I don't know, but I try to avoid automatically saying everything's a demon because I don't think demons are around every corner. I think it's actually fairly rare.
That's the evolution I was talking about, that we shouldn't have to self-edit ourselves because, again, instead of the producer going for the ooh moment in evoking the stereotype of witch and demon, I know you've said it, I've said it, we'll correct them on that. They're like, well, witch doesn't necessarily mean that this. Religions, etc., etc.
Voodoo.
We'll educate them on it, but it doesn't make it to the final cut more often than not because, again, it's like explanatory instead of like, ooh, that was crazy.
Yeah, and you might get one part of that. I don't feel like they edit us unfairly, but they'll maybe use only part of a statement. But even like voodoo, I'm like, voodoo is a religion, it's a belief system. I'm not going to start saying that it's evil and voodoo is evil or whatever just because someone in the video is saying, like the footage. I don't buy into that. But we're running out of time.
Voodoo than you do.
Before we go, I want to do this thing, but can I impose on you guys? My niece, I just found out backstage, my niece just got engaged, and I don't have kids, and but she was definitely a person that I helped raise, and I love this kid to death. And I was wondering if I could bust out a video and be like, Michigan Paracon, say congrats or whatever. Their name, it's Alexis, Alex, and Zach. Could I do that with you guys? Thank you so much. All right, let's pop this out. Okay. Am I on selfie mode? I don't know. I've never done this on stage before. I'm a little bit nervous because like this shows you how much this kid freaking means to me.
Maybe this is what that tweet meant.
You moron. It was an Instagram post, yes. All right, Alexa. Oh wait, it's better if I do. Alexis, it's Aaron, it's Brian. We're talking about Paranormal Con on camera at Michigan Paracon. We just got some news about Alex and Zach. Michigan, can you maybe take it to you? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Oh my God, you guys, you're gonna make me cry.
You're gonna make me cry.
You're gonna make it to your table, right? How can people find you, support you?
Yes, guys, come to my cable. Come to my table. And we'll have a talk. You can find me online at neverstopsearching.com. You?
Yeah, I'm going back to my table. Come say hi. Let's nerd out. My big request is obviously watch Paranormal Con on camera. I have this project called Ripley's, believe it or not, Ripley's Road Trip. It's a web series on, you can find it on Facebook, you can find it on YouTube. It really means a lot for you guys to watch, to like, to comment, to subscribe. Watch it to the end of the video so they know exactly they watched the whole thing. It would mean the world to me, but it's also a good show. I think it's a good show.
It's a great job. I saw the first episode. It's
Thank
well
you.
done. I love it. I definitely want to see more on a very small scale. I'm the new ambassador for the Haunted History Trail of New York State. And if you could watch it on TikTok, I know I'm not a bouncy jiggly person, but please watch it and do the same. My name is Brian J. Cano.
Aaron Sagers.
We're out of here.